Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So, as my friends at yarnspirations.com, we're going to do something with Roll With It Melange today by Red Heart. And this is double thickness, and these are marled yarns together. This hat that you're seeing today is called Theater and Tabloid, and so the two balls are coming together as one. And this one here is called Curtain Call, where I've used the outside of the ball and the inside at the same time to create the look that you have. This one here is designed as a cap, so it goes just over the top of my ears, like right over, and my earlobes are just kind of peeking out below that, and it's the perfect length in order to enjoy a hat, and it forms the shape of the head perfectly. Today, I'm going to be giving you some instructions. My original design was back done, I think maybe 2010, and so I revisited the idea using a brand new yarn here, and we're going to be following a set of instructions. Now, I have updated some information since that last one because I've learned a lot since 2010, and we're going to begin our journey. So use a 5mm size H crochet hook today, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to manipulate a ball to get both strands out of the same ball at the same time. Today's yarn will be the Showtime version, and I'm just going to peel off the label. And so I'm going to carefully just kind of get the center piece out of the middle here. Okay, I don't want too much of it. I don't want a big yarn barb, but if it happens, it happens. No big deal, not the end of the world. And I'm gonna get that one out, and then I'm gonna pull the outside strand in order to do that. So I don't wanna pull it right out of the ball. I just wanna try to get just the strand itself. Okay, so there's the end there. So I got just a little bit of barf, which is fine by me. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to grab the outside of this. So I'm going to look for the outside strand. There it is. And I'm going to put the two together as if they're one. And this will transition on color on its own throughout the whole thing. So how I'm going to use this is that I have a little bowl, Daniel's mixing bowl, and I'm going to place it in here. So and I'm just going to put it down on the floor beside me. So if I was on my lazy boy upstairs, I just put it on the floor, and it comes over the armrest of my chair, and it will come up together just like this. So it'll unwrap from the outside and come from the center just like that, and it will come into my hands. So if this tangles in any way, you just have to take your time and just kind of untangle it as you go. But it's very rare. It only happened to me one time in the last one. So let's begin to do that, and let's start our journey now. So let's begin. You're going to need a stitch marker for this. We're going to do continuous rounds so that we don't have any seams, because that really bothers me. And because this is my own personal hat, I don't want any seams. So we're going to just play with the yarn as if they are together in your hand, as if it's one. And so you'll create your first slip knot. Just put the two strands together and grab your 5mm size H crochet hook to play and put it onto your hook. And let's begin. We're going to start by chaining 2. So 1 and 2. And you're going to go the second chain from the hook, which is the first one you started with, and you're going to place in 6 single crochets. So let's count those out together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you're noticing it's going to be really tight. The thickness is quite generous, so it's going to be a nice warm hat for you. And as we begin our journey, at the end of the 6th one here, stick your hook underneath the last stitch created and pull through that stitch marker that we have. And this is going to indicate to you the last stitch of a round, because we're not going to do any slip stitching today. So we're going to start and move on to round number 2. So let's begin round number 2. To make sure we get started properly, we have not joined it, and we are going to start with the very first one right here. If you're not sure, count back to the 6th one starting here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's right there. So just go right into that stitch, and you're going to place in 2 single crochets. The first time around is always a little hard. So what I would do counting wise, if I were you and you were me, I would just say this is 1 and 1, so there's 2 into the same one, and then you say to the next one 2 and 2, and the next one 3 and 3, next one is 4 and 4. And the next one right there is 5 and 5. And the last one where the stitch marker is 6 and 6. And so on the very last stitch, every time you get here, make sure you move your stitch marker up so that you can see where the stop and the start of the rounds are, because it's a continuous circle. And now we're going to move on to round number 3, and now it's going to get simpler in instruction. You can probably safely cut the center here, just cut it down a little bit. It'll be on the inside of the hat and it'll be out of your way. And let's begin round number 3. Going forward, because there's a repeat pattern for each one of the rounds, I'm going to give you the set of instructions and then you're going to do it and put me on pause. So the next one going out will be 1 single crochet, and the next one has 2 into the same one. So 1 and 2. So the repeat going around is the next one will be 1 by itself, and then 2 into the next. And if your stitch counts are right when you're doing this, the very last stitch that is marked by the stitch marker will have the 2 that share the same stitch. Please do this so it's 1 and then 2, 1 and 2 around for round number 3. So as you come around on here, this was the last one. It was marked with the stitch marker. Continue to move up your stitch markers. I'm not going to keep telling you to do that. I'm just going to assume that you will, and just keep moving it up. And if you ever end up in the last stitch and it's not 2 stitches into the same one for the number of rounds for the growth, then you know something is wrong. So I would frog it to pull it out and restart the round to make sure that you keep your counts perfectly. Let's move on to round number 4. Round number 4, the first 2 are going to be by themselves. So 1 and 2 will be into their own stitches, and then the next one will have 2 into the same stitch. So we have 1 and 2. So for round 4, 2 by itself and then 2 into the same, and please do that around for round number 4. Round number 5 is next. So the first 3 will be by themselves. We have 1, 2, and 3, and then the next one has 2 into the same one. So that'll be your repeat going around. So 3 by itself and then 2 into the next, and I'll see you at the end of the round. Okay, round number 6. The first 4 will be by itself. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 into the next. Okay, the repeat pattern will be 4 by itself and 2 into the next, and do this around for round number 6. Okay, round number 7. The first 5 will be by itself. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the next one has 2 into the same one. Okay, so the repeat for this is 5 by itself and 2 into the next for round number 7. Round number 8. The first 6 will be by itself, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then 2 into the next. So then the repeat is the 6 by itself, and then 2 into the next. Please repeat this all the way around for round number 8. Okay, round number 9. The first 7 are by itself, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then 2 into the next. So the repeat is 7 by itself and 2 in the next all the way around for round number 9. Round number 10, the first 8 are by itself. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and the next one has 2 into the same one. So the repeat for round number 10 is 8 by itself and 2 into the next, and do this all the way around. I'll see you at the end of the round. Okay, rounds number 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, it's a total of 5 rounds, are just one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Every time you hit the stitch marker, move the stitch marker up, count it as a round, and so the next 5 rounds are just one single crochet in each stitch. And I will be back and show you how to do round number 16 in just a moment. So please do those 5 rounds now. I'm here on round number 16, so you can see that it's bowled up. You can try it on the back of your head. I needed 4 more stitches to fit me more comfortably, and that's what round number 16 is all about. But if you think it's gonna fit properly, then you can just do a regular single crochet round. For myself, I'm not gonna do that. So what I want to do is that I want to start with the next one, and I'm gonna put 2 stitches into the same stitch, just like that. Then I'm going to do the next 14 by itself. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. I'm then going to do 2 into the next one. So we want 1 and 2 into the same, and then I want to do the next 14 again by itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and then I'm going to put 2 into the next one, and then I'm going to do the next 14. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then the next one is going to have 2 into the same one. And then what I'm going to do then is the remaining all the way back to the stitch marker is just 1 into each one. So let's just count those out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so the 14th is the last one, which is just one by itself. Move that stitch marker up, and then we're going to do the final rounds in order to get to the top, or sorry, to the forehead of your head. Let's begin rounds number 17 all the way to 25. The next 9 rounds from 17 all the way to 25 is just one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So as you hit the stitch marker, just check it off on the list and do your 9 rounds of single crochet, and that's where I'm going to meet you up next to finish off this hat. And you can try it on at any time. If you want more rounds, you can add more, just continue to go. And if you want it less, then obviously don't make as many. For me, these 9 rounds that I'm about to do fits my head perfectly. Let's do that, and I'll be back in just a moment. So I did my rounds 1 to 25. Now on the other hat, it seemed to fit me better than this one. This one here, I did an extra 2 rounds. So I actually went to round number 27. I tried it on. I wanted it a little bit lower. And so you can change the height of this easily. So what I'm going to do after this round is done and I have what I want, I'm going to slip stitch the next 2 stitches. And then that's where I'm going to finish. Okay, and I'm going to fasten off. So I'm going to snip my yarns, snippy snip, and I'm going to pull through. I'm going to pull my stitch marker that you can see that's been going through. Just stretch it a bit and it'll get rid of the holes. And I want to turn it to the inside of the hat, and I want to put both of these through a tapestry needle at the same time. And then I'm going to focus on the inside of the hat and drag the yarn through. Now, I just don't want to go between the strands. I want to split the strands as much as possible as well, and that helps it to get it stuck. So I'm going to pull through the first time, and when I pulled through the first time, making sure that it looks good and it doesn't cause it to mal shape, and go back through. And then one more time. So don't let that yarn needle hit the outside of the hat. So you should not see it. Just stay to the inside of the hat. And then that's where I'm going to snip it. And done. So this hat is another successful hat, and it's for me, and we hope you enjoyed. And this is a great day here at the Crochet Crab. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.